Hello, and welcome to Alchemy Mindset. I'm your host, Anna Hasty, business mindset coach for women and a sound healer. If you are ready to become the most aligned, magnetic, and confident businesswoman you are worthy and deserving of being, then this show is for you. This is where I share everything from mindset, energy, and spirituality, and how to embody your future self in business and life. Sprinkle that with deeply relaxing sound healings and meditations, and you have the Alchemy Mindset podcast. Hit subscribe so you always get the latest episode. Now let's begin. Hello, dear listener. I am so happy to have you here on the Alchemy Mindset show today, and I really do hope this episode inspires you to connect more to your future self, more to that future businesswoman, the woman who's living and thriving in a life and business that she's creating, because I've had this really big realization that I'm missing something really crucial and an important step in me embodying my entrepreneuress self. So in this episode today, I want to share with you what I haven't been doing to embody this aspect of my future self, who I call the Entrepreneuress, and sometimes I also call a future Annie, as well as explore what it means and how you can tap into this future version of yourself and bridge the gap between her and you right now. Now, I'm going to say this is crazy. This is crazy that I haven't been able to embody this future aspect of myself, considering that embodiment is one of my pillars in my coaching program. I have 3 pillars. It's energy, mindset, and embodiment. And I've had this big realization just recently that, you know what, Anna, you haven't been really focusing on the embodiment. You're doing lots of mindset, you're doing lots of energy, but what are you doing to actually tap into that future version of yourself as if she's already existing now, because she can exist now? And I want to say, as always, I'm open and willing to share my ups and downs in my business and life and journey. And I really want to talk to you about this and how I've somehow fallen off the embodiment wagon and what I'm doing right now to jump back in again and bring this more solidly into my life. So I want to start with, who is the Entrepreneuress? Now, this is a term or a word or a description or an image that came to me one day. I honestly think it's, oh my goodness, it would have been about maybe 3 years ago or something. And maybe it was during the time where, you see lots of words being created like boss babe or manifestation babe or mumpreneur or solopreneur, or whatever it was. And I guess somewhere there in my, creative wisdom, I was like, well, what kind of word would describe me? Like, I don't really feel like I'm a CEO. I'm not a founder. I'm a boss babe, but that didn't even ring true. And this word, the Entrepreneuress, came through. And I was like, that feels awesome. Like, I love the sound and the feeling that this word gives me. And I love the imagery that it comes from it. Anyway, side note, I had this word written up as an affirmation on one of my boards around the house, and my mum was staying with me. Now, mum is a French teacher, and she looked at the word and she goes, you do realize you've misspelt entrepreneur? The female version of entrepreneur is entrepreneurs, which is, so in French, if you didn't know, they often have masculine or feminine words to describe the same thing. And I looked at mum and I said, that isn't misspelt. I'm not being French here. I've created this word to describe how I feel and who I am as a businesswoman. She's like, oh, okay. And I'd also like to say, I just quickly Googled some things, and, the English language has adopted the male word entrepreneur from the French language. And obviously, we live in a world where business has been predominantly dominated by men. So you can understand why a masculine word that describes someone who's working for themselves, who's embarking in business, et cetera, it's got that masculine word of entrepreneur. But if you wanted to tap into the female word in French, it would be entrepreneurs. Yeah, interesting. So I was like, that's interesting. But how this is all changing and coming about now that female leadership, female business owners are stepping more and more into the world. Yeah, it makes me wonder if entrepreneur is still going to be a very strongly used word, or it doesn't really matter because you know what? It's an adopted word in the English language, and we like to call ourselves whatever we want these days. Mompreneurs, solopreneurs, boss babes, you name it. I'm the Entrepreneuress. So I felt like when this word just landed within me, I felt like, you know what? It embodies the essence of a female entrepreneur who embraces her unique identity and strengths and the vision in the business world. And for me, it was like being the mix of a queen, an empress, and a sovereign in her business and world. The Entrepreneuress is a woman who runs her business with passion and determination while nurturing her own self-care, mindfulness practices, and personal development. And she's someone who uses her intuition and inner wisdom as much as her business smarts to make decisions. The Entrepreneuress is confident, resilient, and sees entrepreneurship as a path not just for financial success, but personal fulfillment and making a positive impact. And in essence, the Entrepreneuress is about being true to yourself, leveraging your unique qualities and creating a business and life that align with your core values and dreams, ruling your world like a true queen, leading with the grace like an empress, and making decisions with the authority of a sovereign. Now, when all of that downloaded, I was like, yes, that feels so good. Like, I just feel that. Like, I feel her within me. And when I think of her, I feel like I get more sort of uplifted, like my shoulders are back, I'm sitting taller, I'm feeling more confidence within myself. You know, my heart and my throat chakra, my solar plexus is more open. I feel like she's doing all these things with so much ease, grace, and joy, and fun and fulfillment. And she's living her ultimate best life. And she's not holding back either. She's fully going for it. She knows what she wants and nothing is standing in her way. And she knows how to tap into that feminine energy within herself, knows how to balance it with the masculine. She takes care of herself. She sees herself as being so important in the cogs and wheels of life. And she's just awesome. She's an amazing person. So when she came into my vision, I'm like, yes, I love this person so much. However, for some reason, I haven't been fully embodying her. I haven't been stepping into the essence of who she is, like literally seeing her in front of me and bringing ourselves together so we merge into one. Because I've fallen into this mindset of one day when XYZ happens, then I will, and insert how I will be or what I will do or have. I've somehow fallen into this trap of that can't happen for me yet because I'm here and not there yet, rather than actually bridging the gap between myself now, present day me, and future me into this moment now and start embodying all those aspects of her right now. Like I actually don't have to wait. But for some reason, I've fallen into this place of I can't have that yet because, or the time isn't right yet because, or that's too far in the distance and I'm here. If anything, I'm keeping myself stuck and small and safe rather than actually embracing that future entrepreneuress. With this realization came confirmation from a conversation that I recorded with Jessica Osborne that's coming out at the end of June on the podcast. And she said in our conversation about many things, but one thing she said was that she's always noticed how her clients often project themselves in the future, but they don't bridge the gap. They have this large chasm between them now and their future self, when in actual fact, you can do small things. You can embody certain aspects of your future self right now, bridge the gap, close the gap, stop waiting and holding back and just start doing it now. And that in itself has more power and strength than sitting and waiting. I was like, yes, thank you, Jess, for highlighting that. Thank you for the reminder. This is exactly what I needed to hear. So really embodying yourself goes beyond vision board stuff. Like it's great to have a vision board with pictures and photos and imagery and words and affirmations of how you want to be, your future self and what it would look like. But in actual fact, you do need to take action. And this again comes with the law of action, which is the partnership with law of attraction. So vision boards are great for attraction, but you do need to take action. So when your subconscious mind constantly responds to you doing something on repeat, it creates a new neural pathway and habit around it. also known as a new belief about yourself. So in order to create these new beliefs and habits about yourself, you have to go through the motions and actions and really feel the feelings into what it is that you want to create, be, do, or have, so that it implants this new belief and creates the belief change within your subconscious mind. Sometimes just thinking things is not enough. Sometimes just seeing things is not enough. Doing things is far more powerful. Doing things and aligning it with the emotions and feelings along with it is far more powerful. So I just want you to take a moment to either close your eyes, but if that's not safe for you because you're driving or you're walking or doing some sort of activity while you're listening to this, I just want you to shift your inner gaze inwards. And we all have that ability and know how to do that. So whatever way it works for you, it might be like recalling a memory or daydreaming, just shift your inner gaze inwards. And I want you to take a moment to cast your mind out to a future moment in time, a moment where you are in that future aspect of yourself, that future version of you when you say, when I have achieved this or when I have this, I will be this. And I want you to just take yourself to that future moment in time. How do you see yourself? What are you doing? What are the beliefs, actions, mindset, and or values you currently hold around your work and life? What is that future version of you? What has she achieved? What has she done? And how is she living her life through those achievements? You can ask yourself, and this is the way I often frame it, is what is future me doing right now? And for me, I say, what is future Annie doing right now? What would she do in this moment? What can I do, start, create to bring that version of myself into now? Like what elements of her can you bring into your now? So for me, it all comes down to a lot more and better self-care practices. Like I have this vision and version of myself in the future where I'm getting regular massages, pedicures, facials, and all sorts of really beautiful, nurturing experiences and self-care practices. But I'm not doing that now. Like why would the future version of me be doing that when present day Anna could actually start doing that now anyway? And yes, I do go get massages and pedis and things like that, but it's not maybe in the frequency as I visualize and I want to have and that my future self is already doing. But in actual fact, there's nothing stopping me from just booking them more regularly and doing them more regularly. Like why would my future self be any greater than that, than what my present day self could actually be? And also like one thing I've sort of been reflecting on is how I dress. So the way I kind of present myself, I guess you could say. And now I know that having come out of postpartum, breastfeeding, pregnancy, a lot of my clothes do sort of still fit, don't really fit. I don't really like them anymore. I feel like I've got a wardrobe full of things that don't give me sparkle or joy, as Marie Kondo would say, or are that sort of partum dagginess that I'm just like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm doing my best to get my mum bod back into shape. So I am doing like more walking and Pilates. I'm still doing my dancing, but there are some things within my wardrobe that I'm like, why am I holding on to this? Why do I still have this hanging around, occupying space when I don't need that? Like maternity bras or, you know, those breast pads that you put in your bras when, you know, to stop leaking when you're breastfeeding and things like that. Maternity dresses, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, why is this still sitting here? Yes, I'm holding on to it in the space that there will be baby number 2 eventually, but I don't actually have to look at it right now. I can actually pack that away, vacuum pack it into a bag and just stick it into the back of the wardrobe where I don't actually have to look at it. So that's actually something I did over the recent long weekend, went through my wardrobe, chucked out anything that had holes in it, didn't fit right, didn't really give me excitement to look at. Like when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that feels really tight when I last wore it. I don't enjoy it. That I've had for years. That brings back bad memories. That I just don't like anymore. And sort of really thought, okay, what can I get rid of? What can I declutter? What can I downsize? And anything that I wasn't ready or prepared to throw out, I just popped in some boxes, put them neatly into my wardrobe. So they're all kind of like filed away, as I say. I know where to get them if I need them, but I don't actually have to look at them in my wardrobe. And when I open my drawers and I open my closet, it feels so much more spacious. And I'm also working on creating like a bit more of a minimalist style capsule wardrobe where I just have clothes that can easily interchange and I don't have to have like hundreds of black pants or leggings or shorts or t-shirts, and that I'm actually just having the things that bring me joy and make me feel good right now, and being able to mix and match more. It's something that I just really want to aspire to have. Anyway, plus this also comes down to, doing my sound bath healings and presentations and things like that. I'm a bit over just wearing active wear all the time. I want to wear really nice clothes when I do my sound baths, because for me, that's going to work. And if I was to go to work, I would probably dress in a different way than I would if I was doing, exercise or, around the house. So dressing a certain way, looking at how I present myself, tinting my eyelashes more often and getting those eyebrows done. I'm not into manicures, but I love pedicures. Like taking time to do that, whether I go somewhere or I just do it myself. Why am I not doing this now? These are simple things that my future Annie would be doing. Why isn't present day Anna not doing them now? And another big thing that's kind of happened in this big realization is Francois and I own our house. We've been here now for 2 years, and I still haven't put pictures up on the wall. It's like I'm holding off from doing this, and I have no idea why. It's I don't know whether it's just this feeling of one day I'm not ready yet, or I do believe, I'm going to say it's the belief, I'm not very interior design orientated. I have no skills in that. I never grew up with a family that was very, liked interior design and aesthetically pleasing stuff. There's people out there, I'm sure, who could help me anyway. But yeah, for some reason, I haven't put these really important pictures on the walls. I haven't, bought furniture that would reflect what I want. I haven't done those things for some reason. So over the long weekend, I was like, right, time to get some photo frames happening and start putting these pictures on my wall. If I don't like where it is, I'll just get Francois to patch it and paint over it. I mean, God, I could probably do that as well. It's not that hard, and things can be moved. I actually rearranged my office because Francois and I both agreed that maybe I needed a bit of fresh energy into my space, and we're still hovering whether I stay in this room or if I go into the guest room, which is bigger, has an ensuite and everything like that. But for now, we're just no, just change it up, move the furniture around, because changing space can make things feel better. And even that right now feels great. So why isn't that I'm not doing my future things that are these simple, easy things into my life now? Why do I have to hold off and wait? It's a bit like, I guess, when you'd save your clothes as a kid for best, you'd have your best clothes, or your mum wouldn't bring out the dinner plates or the crystal ware or the fancy knife and cutlery set because you had to wait for the right moment or the right party or the right event. Well, I'm done with that. I actually don't do that. I have these beautiful Stuart crystal champagne flutes and a really beautiful cutlery set and really lovely glasses I got Francois and I received for wedding presents. I'm not holding back. I'm going to bring them out when we go down to the beach to watch the sunset, when we have friends come over for a barbecue, when we're, just having a birthday. Why not bring them out now? Why not even use them right now rather than just putting them in the cupboard and saving them for best? And there's a bigger thing on the project. So again, Francois and I have been talking a lot about the renovations we want to do to the house, and it's clearly identified that I'm a bit more of a project manager and a multitasker. So if I see something stalling and stuck and not moving forwards, I'm like, right, let's put that to one side. If we're waiting for someone to come and work on it, let's not dwell on that and sit there and twiddle our thumbs and wait for this person. Let's move on to something else that can be done in the meantime. Whereas Francois likes to do things step by step by step. He doesn't like to go beyond the next step if that previous step hasn't been done yet. Frustrating, but that's fine. That's how he's wired. But even now I said to him, why are we not starting to do some renovations in our dining space? I've got this vision to create this corner dining nook, and I watch plenty of DIY YouTube videos and vlogs. If they can do it, why the hell can't we do it? Why are we sitting around waiting to get to that moment when we could actually start that moment now and have the other things continuing on the background if someone else is coming to do them? That's the pool project, which is a slow progress and process right now. Anyway, so what I'm saying is there's lots of things that I've been realizing that I've been sitting on that could actually be done now as my future self in this present moment, bridging the gap, bringing her closer to me, embodying who she is right now, that entrepreneuress, rather than sitting and waiting to get to her. Because in actual fact, that needle of her moving forwards will become further and further apart from me the more I just sit and wait, because she's already well ahead. She's really well ahead. I don't need to wait for the perfect moment when everything is right, done already. And if I don't start now, then when? Because that moment may never, ever come. So I invite you to do something right now. I want you to ask yourself, what would your future, insert your name, be doing right now? How would she act, think, be, or have? What would she have? And chances are she's actually not that different from you right now. But ask yourself, are your values and beliefs still the same? Has she changed or adopted new beneficial habits or routines? And what does she do that is different from yourself now? What is she doing actually that is the same that you're doing right now? Now, this is the one thing I want to add here is that this future version of you shouldn't really, as I said, be that much different to who you are now. She should still have the same values and the same, you could say, morals and ethics and things like that. She shouldn't be like this completely new, renovated version of you, but she is most likely this person who is those few steps ahead of the game from where you are now. She already has that successful, thriving business. She's already receiving the clients and the financial benefits of having that successful, thriving business so that she can live the lifestyle that she wants. But there are things there that aren't actually that far out of reach than what you can have right now, and that what you can attain right now, that what you can do to embody her. So are you doing those things right now, or are you waiting to start? And what small things can you bring into your current life, knowing that the bigger embodiment aspects will follow in time when you're ready to meet them? And those bigger embodiment aspects may be like speaking on stage, or holding a retreat, or buying that house that you want in the neighborhood that you desire, or upgrading your car, or any of those things that perhaps are on your vision board that you see yourself having, doing, or being in your future. But you can still bring elements of that quality of that person into your life right now. Embody the version of you and bridge the gap. So I'm curious to know. So you can either send me a DM on Instagram at Anna F. Hasty, or just send an email. I'm friendly with my emails. I always reply. hello@annahasty.com. Does the Entrepreneuress resonate with you? Does that actual vision and description of her resonate with you? Is she you, or would you call yourself something else, or even nothing at all? Do you just not bother with those kind of titles? You're like, yeah, whatever, I just have a business and I work for myself. Does it even matter to you? Does it even matter to have this ability to tap into that embodiment aspect of yourself? Is it just tapping into a feeling or an image instead, and that means the most? What is it? What is important to you? I'm just really curious to know. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think about this episode. Does anything resonate? Do you want to throw it all out the window? Have a chat. I'm really curious to know. Anyway, so with that, my love, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being part of this episode. I'm so glad I actually got this out, because I've been sitting on this whole thing for a while, and particularly bringing the Entrepreneuress to light. But here she is. She's there. She's my life. She is me. And as always, I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode. Until then, bye. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to today's episode. Please rate and review this podcast so that it can continue to thrive and reach more listeners. I love to know who my listeners are, so please screenshot this episode and tag me on Instagram at Anna F. Hasty. And I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode.